What's going on, Charles? It's Kenny. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How's it going? What's up?
I'm doing real good. Sorry about the delay, and thank you for again, like I told you a little bit early. Thank you for being on the show on 2, 3 days notice, man. I truly appreciate it.
No problem. I'm here and I'm ready. I'm loving it.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and begin. What made you decide to get into music, man? How did it all start off for you?
Well, it originally started way back when I was younger. When I was a kid, I used to live in Texas, right? And when I was down there, I used to do all types of school events and stuff like that. So I got into church choir, all types of things. So music's always been there. So it's been there for a minute. So, the older I got, I guess it just grew on me. Once I got to college, I was producing for everybody at my college, so that's what really triggered it. So, by the time I came back home and dropped my first mixtape to Compile, at that part, that's when I figured I'm about to be serious about this whole music situation.
In your music, not only do you sing, but you are a rapper as well. What's the whole mindset when you in the studio recording? Do you determine like whether the beat sounds good for you to sing or rap or do both? Like, what's the whole process like deciding what you want to do
You know,
with a record?
it's like as soon as I step into the studio, I'm already an open artist. Whatever the vibe is, I'm open. As soon as somebody goes on an instrumental, it might, these days a lot of people like trap beats just because it's easy to rap to. That's what's hot right now. So even still. Sometimes I still get inspired even on the trap beat to, slow it down and do something like that. But it's all situational. Whatever makes the song hit its potential, that's really my angle.
Who do you consider as musical influences? It could be rappers, singers, just anyone particular. Like who are some of the artists that got you into doing music?
All right, so check this out. You like Lauren Hill, right?
Yes.
See, okay, that's one of my top influences. I've always loved Lauren Hill. I like how she's real lyrical. She talks about deep concepts on the same tip. She can bring some flair. Back when she was with, the group that she's with, the Fugees, they used to have all kinds of funk that they would do it. Her whole presence, everything like that. She was a huge influence on my music alongside artists like Kid Cudi and Wiz Khalifa for nowadays music.
I definitely
So,
I definitely got a lot of respect for Lauryn Hill. Not only she succeeded with the Fugees, but she succeeded as a solo artist. I guess I wish, as a fan, I wish we could have gotten more music from Lauren herself, but she went through some
right.
issues, went through some ups and downs in her life. Hopefully, she'll get herself together and get back to doing some music. But she's definitely that miseducation of Lauren Hill. That's a classic. That's a
Oh my
classic.
goodness. Every song on it, you know what I'm saying? It's like she was just like bleeding hits. It was outrageous. Just like you said, everything she did, it just blew me away. But that's most definitely one of my top influences. Most definitely, yeah.
So, Charles,
So,
let me ask you this: Do you? I mentioned some of the music you did. I played a song, and one of my favorite songs that you did is called "The Struggle." And I dug that record. I definitely feel where you're coming from and what you have to overcome to get to where you are today. Um, when it comes to music, based on personal, you know, personal reasons and all, based on what you have to go through, what you have to overcome, like what's the process like for you when you're in the studio when you working on a record based on things that you go through? Like, what's that whole mindset is like?
man, it's for me, it's real deep. It's kind of like this is honestly life. This is my life. It's for me ever since I was a kid. I've kind of always been a loner. People say, loners, they do whatever they do. People always got all kinds of perspectives on what a loner is. For me, it was just, I had friends, but I was always to myself. It was hard for me to, express a lot of my emotions. I'm a great listener, but as far as expressing myself, it's really hard for me sometimes. You know what I mean? So, I just used to write down like poetry and stuff like that when I was younger. Like I said, this has been my whole life. So the older that I've gotten, it just transpired into these awesome songs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, so kind of like, it's now it's just I'm getting older and my experiences are, it's more, I'm able to reach more people because I'm at an age to where I've experienced so many different things. I can put all these different situations into growing lessons, and people will be able to take that in and, just love that.
Well said, man. Well said. And I enjoyed the music that you had on that website that was posted on your Twitter page on the bio. What I want to ask you is, do you have any new music you have in the works?
Man, it's crazy. Right now, it's like, I've had my last project, the 214 to 309, that's a lot of music that sounds like you've heard. And, it's like going forward, it's like I've got a lot of stuff. I just got in touch with the video recorder for me. And, we're going to do a lot of videos for those songs, the transition, my struggle, like a star, stuff like that. But, as far as in the vault, I've got my new EP coming up, shout out to Magic on the Beat. He's the producer behind it. But, I have an EP, it's called The Coincidence coming out. And the songs on that is just, it's amazing. I have the song, it's like, I really need to realize the fact that you shine like them lights every single day. I need a chance to say that I'll stay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going to be a really, just like, people are going to hear it's going to open a lot of eyes. And, it's like I have a lot of stuff involved. Another mixtape that's coming out April 27th. The EP itself comes out March 27th. So it's like I have a lot of stuff coming out very soon. As far as the music videos, those are coming more recent, like within the next few weeks. So that's what a lot of people should be looking out on my YouTube account, Chuckster N3578. You can check out the YouTube page, and that's where I'll have a lot of those updates. So most definitely got a lot involved. I was definitely excited too. Very excited.
Well, I for one looking forward to hearing those two projects you was mentioning. I look forward to it. Make sure you all go check those records out. Coming out real soon.
Thank you.
And let me ask you this, man. We are 6 days removed from the Grammy Awards, and one of the big stories afterwards was Kendrick Lamar. He was up for multiple Grammys, and he walked out with 0. And then you have another rapper by the name of Macklemore. He walked off with 4 Grammys, and people are saying that Kendrick got robbed. Even Macklemore acknowledged through a text message he sent on Instagram, he felt he got robbed as well. What's your reaction to the Grammys and Kendrick Lamar?
It's crazy. It's like I have multiple angles. It's like as far as a musician, I can't mess with that. I wouldn't want to be messy saying, oh, somebody got robbed, because it is what it is. But as a band, what I'm saying, of just music in general, hip hop and how everything grows, it's like, for me, I actually just recently, it's crazy, right before this interview, like this morning, I came across Macklemore's mixtape from like 2005, And it's like, dude's been pushing the beat for some years now, So it's like, to say Macklemore got robbed, it'd be like, that's outrageous, I know a lot of people are disappointed because as far as the hip-hop scene, with everybody around the world seeing as far as hip-hop, Kendrick is having a lot of vibration in that area. So I could see how things would, be, disappointed. But, it is what it is. And, congratulations to both of them for at least even being in those positions, So both of them are working hard, and they're going to have a lot more coming very soon. Some great music is going to happen from both of them,
I definitely respect Macklemore for, speaking his mind on how he felt. I mean, Kendrick had a very good year. It's not like all he did last year was the Control verse and never heard from him again. Good Kid in the Mad
Right.
City is a dope record.
His
Um,
album, his
uh,
tapes was dope. You know, it's like he's been having wonderful years. You know, it's for a lot of these artists, it's how they build up to that point. You know, when you know a person's in position for the Grammy, you don't even really look at just that song. You look at that person's career and how they manifested into this year that they can be so big. You know, and it's like Kendrick had a wonderful album when his very first drop. That was the hottest hip hop album. You know, when Macklemore dropped, his was the hottest hip hop album of those months that he dropped his. You know, it's just two separate times. And like I said, both of them are wonderful artists, have different angles. Kendrick's more for the street, his approach, and Macklemore is more international. He speaks on some real deep stuff, and it's like, I love both of them artists. So it's like, congratulations to both of them for everything they've accomplished. It's dope seeing, people like that, like I said, Macklemore just found his album in 2005. And to date, he came as far as staying true to not only, what he talks about, but his sound. It's like that's just, it blows my mind.
Absolutely, and both of these artists have bright futures going forward. And the fact that those two were nominated not just for best rap album, but for album of the year, that's just saying,
Right.
hip hop, man.
It's man, it's crazy. It is crazy. I love it though. I really do.
Well, hopefully one day we'll have a rap album or R&B album win album of the year. But politics gets in the way and things like that. But we'll wait and see. But I'm happy for both artists, and Macklemore conducted himself well. Kendrick conducted himself well afterwards. He didn't pull Kanye. He didn't went ballistic or anything. So, I mean, all you can do, is back to the studio, and maybe the
I mean,
Grammy.
hold on. I got something for you.
Okay.
Now, hey, what about Drake? Drake's album was hot. What about Drake's album? He's been putting it on for years now.
Yeah, he has.
So I got to pause to say shout out all of you guys. If y'all want to mess with C Nunn The Only, Twitter.com/C Nunn The Only, Facebook, C Nunn The Only one. But yeah, Drake had an awesome album also. It's like, so, I mean, Kendrick's album was dope. Drake easily is that robbed also. If that was the case, all of these artists nowadays are, trying to really show that hip hop is strong. It is trying to boom down all the doors to say, hip hop's here to stay.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely a fan of Drake as well. He had a pretty good year himself, and I mean, I guess the Grammys is kind of like all-star selections and stuff. No matter how many artists get nominated, there's always going to be people that's left out, and it just happens, man. It's unfortunate, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make me think less of an artist when you don't win a Grammy. There's plenty of successful artists that's never won Grammys. So
very true.
So it's Grammys is big, but it's not the end of the world, I guess. And let me ask you this, Charles, from a fan standpoint, what is your thoughts about the hip hop and R&B music these days that you hear on the radio, that you see the music videos? Like, what's your take on the state on both genres?
First off, I'm gonna say this. A lot of my thoughts on the game you'll hear in a lot of these projects that are coming out soon. However, I think it's like I said, a lot of things is perspective. There's so many angles to the game. There's underground hip hop. There's underground R&B even. There's YouTube music. It's just like these days it's ridiculous how many artists that there are. You know what I mean? But with the larger artists, as far as hip hop, I think a lot of the artists that we've seen grow, I think a lot of us as fans will probably, would want to see more, just more out of them. It's a lot of repetition. It's so repetitive seeing, everything about flashy. It's like, we understand you're flashy, but it's like, it's awesome when you have, artists who take time to make different types of tracks, speaking deep, like a J. Cole. You know what I mean? it's like when you get those type of artists and they still keep it true after all these years, like you still have a story, even though now you're famous. Yeah, you're famous and you have all the money, but you still have that story that got you to where you are. You know, and a lot of artists that are, you know, being what people would call mainstream, you know, it's like you do see a lot of them falling into that, you know, I'm famous and I'm so worried about so many people hating, it's like you can't really get much substance.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree with you with that. I think it's just lacking substance, like you pointed out. And I mean, I'm all for the party and love and have a good time type of records. I really am, sincerely. But
Amen.
But overall, man, like, you didn't come out. That's not how your life started. Some started off poor. Some started out with no parents, and you have a story to tell. And people want to know, man. People want to dig deep. People really want to know who you are and what got you to this point.
Right. Exactly. That's what got. It's like that's what got you there. Why would you? You know, why would once you're there, why won't you embrace that and if anything, go into a deeper reason on why you're there. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got so many opportunities, so many songs that you can make, and you know, I just hope, you know, I'm sure in time, you know, all the different artists will have those different songs. You know, I have faith in music. You know, so. That's my outlook as far as hip hop. I think it's lacking a lot of substance, but we do have artists that are pushing that, you know, just like a Kendrick or like a, you know, or like a Macklemore, who are pushing those, you know, Eminem, you know what I'm saying? Those are pushing the Kid Cudis, you know what I'm saying? Those who are pushing that door to say, you know, we can talk about life, y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we ain't gonna die if we do, you know, Dizzy Wright, all those type of fellas, you know. It's like, so we've got a lot of good artists, Joey Badass, a lot of artists that are coming up, you know, that are pushing down that barrier, saying, "Yo, we still need these lyrics, man. It's more than just this bullshit." Well, pardon me, brother. It's like it's more than that, you know. It's like it's life still, you know. So on the R&B end, though, you know, it's. I've been going back and forth with R&B. I can't even lie. It's crazy. It's like I've listened to some Jaheim and those type of projects. That is what really grabs my attention. Have you heard the Jaheim project?
Oh, yes, I have. My family listened to Jaheim crazy, man. I mean, just something about the voice and the message behind his records. I mean, that's a deep brother right there.
Man, you know, it's like when I'm listening to those type of songs, it's just like that shows like, oh my goodness, people with music. It's like I like when people embrace the music that got you loving music. You know, it's like, and artists like Jaheim, he brings back all these different sounds that people would say, you know, oh man, that's an antique sound. That's how did you even make that? Do you even make that stuff anymore? It's like, oh, that must be an old person song, and then it's Jaheim. That's a 2014 track. That blows your mind.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like. You know, it's like I'm sorry, but you know, it's just like that's my outlook on R&B. We do have good R&B out there. Is it publicized? It's getting publicized. You hear it on the radio, so that means it's trying to make its transition. You know, artists like Chris Brown and stuff. It's like I love his lyrics. I always will. You know, I love his writers. I love everything he does. I love his vocals. You know, it's like even him. I wish he would take down some of the electro and get back to that R&B, get back to that feeling like he does on his mixtapes. You know.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. And everybody go check this man. Check out his music. Yeah. He's got a lot coming up within the next few months. And follow him on Twitter. Why don't you mention your Twitter name? Let people know how to follow you, man.
Man, follow me on Twitter. Catch me on Reverb Nation. Catch me on Hot New Hip Hop. All of those sites at C Nunn The Only. Twitter, C Nunn The Only. Facebook.com, C Nunn The Only. Hit me up, man. Y'all can, you know, KIK me if y'all want to get personal. Just chat a little bit about life. If anybody needs some advice, you know what I'm saying? I'm more than an artist. I'm a human being. Hit me up, you know what I'm saying? And like he said, a lot of new stuff coming out. The Coincidence on March 27th. The Quick Fix, April 27th. Music videos, Wonderflix. Shout out to Magic's on the Beats. Hit me up, Twitter, C Nunn The Only.
And my last question for you, My last question for you is: it's Super Bowl weekend. The big game is tomorrow. Who you got, man? Broncos or Seahawks?
Man, it is going to clearly be Peyton Manning and the Broncos.
I'm rooting for the Broncos too, man. Champ Bailey been in the game for a long time and finally get that Super Bowl appearance. I'm happy for him. And for Peyton Manning to go for 4 neck surgeries, get pushed out the door in Indianapolis, playing like he never left, and has a chance to really make more history, man. I'm pulling for Peyton tomorrow. Thank you, Charles, for your time. Best of success goes out to you, and I appreciate your enthusiasm and your passion. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kenny, man. Yeah, most definitely. Much love. One love. C Nunn The Only. We signing out.
All right, you have a good night, man.
Yep. You too.
All right, that was Charles Nunn.